All right, everyone, here we are with ticker symbol NIO NEO Inc. And before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first-time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. To all my subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So, NEO Inc. has actually been in a sideways movement now. As I've stated in my previous videos, you could see how NEO does that effect after a run. So, I haven't seen NEO give any signs of a hard dip. I mean, it's slightly just dipped right now with the volatility of the market, and it has had its moments where it rises up and it goes down a little bit and so forth on this sideways direction. But I really find that awesome to see that the charts are confirming this trend, right? Every time it runs up, it goes sideways, and this was the shortest time of sideways movement, and then it rose up again. And here we are seeing the beginning of the sideways movement. And yes, there was a slight dip here, and it is in bearish territory now. So we still have to monitor this closely. But I would be really concerned if I saw NEO just kind of drop almost the same amount that it went up. That's where it would be a red flag that there's a lot of profit taking, uncertainty, and fear kicking in to investors. But the volatility of the market, which is obviously this up and down movement, but as long as it stays within range, I mean, that's pretty normal. We're about to see some people profit. Some people are riding this wave, give or take, or somebody got in here and, they got a nice position and they said, okay, well, I'm going to get rid of some of my position. They got rid of it here. But I'm going to go ahead and delete all these lines in circles. I don't want you guys to get confused, but I really like pointing it out because it is becoming more and more obvious that it is creating this trend within the year. It's done it several times. And all I see is when you zoom out is a healthy trend, right? A healthy growth trend. And when you think about it, it could possibly continue if this continues to work up in that direction, hitting newer highs. And let's just say that it's supposedly with the sideways movement and all of a sudden it shoots up here to a newer high and a newer resistance level over time. And then again, we're going to see that sideways movement. That's a possibility. I mean, it's been showing it in the charts, and when you really look at it, it's been in an upward direction, and it can continue that channel and that direction of growth, possibly, if it continues to do that. But the charts are showing it for themselves. I just like to point it out so that we are reminded that NEO is doing pretty well. Again, they need to continue to provide and show investors a reason why to invest in them and give them a good reason of obviously revenue growth, net income, and most importantly, profit margins. Profits are what make the price valuation of a stock and is what makes it go up. Speculation makes these quick runs, right? And hope, and then obviously those runs kind of start to dissipate and you start seeing things go in the other direction. But growth like this is usually due to the fact of the growth of a company. It's not like this just happens and all of a sudden speculation for 3 months happened. No, this is growth of a company growing and creating a trajectory on its way up. And like I always say, a lot of analysts and a lot of people are saying that this could be Tesla's competitor. And as of right now, it's probably the only one competing in the car industry, not trucks and not engines and not EV batteries and nothing like that. I'm talking about just cars, like the Model S and the Model Y and so forth and the Model 3 of Tesla versus NEO's SUV style and car style and so forth. So NEO is actually coming through with a product that can compete hand in hand to the basic products of Tesla, which at some point, I know that there's a lot of like EV sectors out there focus on big trucks and bigger things than just cars. But the main consumer and where most profits might happen is through people that need cars and the population that needs cars. And when they transition into EV sector cars, what cars do I get to choose from? And right now, in the car industry, there's a lot of hybrid cars, right? A lot of different brands with hybrid cars. And then there's a lot of brands coming out with fully electric cars trying to compete with Tesla. And then we got NIO all the way on the other side of the world trying to compete with Tesla, making a full EV component car, right? An EV vehicle that can go head to head with Tesla because it's solely based on that. It's not a company transitioning. So I believe as of right now, NIO has the potential to continue growing and possibly be one of the top competitors versus Tesla when it comes to pricing on the vehicle. But we need to see the quality of the vehicle. I don't think these vehicles have been around for too long to say, but I think that they're possibly going to be pretty well made if you ask me, because they're coming through. And you can see a lot of research on their website and stuff. I highly encourage everyone to do that. But let's zoom in here and see what's important for NIO. NIO actually crossed the 50-day moving average. It broke through support, hung out around it, and it slightly dipped here. So we're going to look at this very narrow, and then we're going to zoom out a little bit so that we can see what are some other numbers that are important for tomorrow and the coming days. They're super important numbers as we look at them. So the first resistance level that's important here is up here if we cross the 50-day moving average, and that's 28.82. I'd write that down. That's the highest point before this crossed the 50-day moving average. Now, the lowest point, if we cross the support and start working our way down to newer lows, as of right now, is 27.24. If that gets broken through, this could be well on its way to newer lows and moving further away from the 50-day moving average. But before worrying about this number and this number down here, let's look at what's important in a much more narrow perspective and for tomorrow. So right now it's at 27.68 and the 50-day moving average is 28.26. As long as we're below it, the bears are in control, and the moment we're above it, the bulls are in control. And for the bulls to work their way up to that 50-day moving average, they need to break through the first resistance level. Breaking through this resistance level does not say or mean that the bulls have gained control. This gives us a sense of direction of where this is going, and the bulls are working closer to getting back into bullish territory by crossing the 50-day moving average. But first they need to cross 28.13, turn that into a support, and break away from it to reach newer highs and newer resistance levels crossing the 50-day moving average. So it's important for the bulls to break through 28.13 and turn that into a support. On the other hand, we have what the bears want. The bears want to break through this, and that's 27.50. If they can accomplish that, they're actually going on their way down to reaching the newer lows, which are down here, as I stated earlier. And it's very important to pay very close attention to how this stock reacts if it breaks through 27.50. How quickly is it going to newer lows, reaching newer support levels, or is it hanging out sideways and giving a chance for the bulls to reappear and start momentum to bring it back up? So I want to emphasize to all investors, 27.50, pay very close attention to how this stock is reacting and how quickly is it moving to newer lows, because we're already in bearish territory, and if it breaks through that support, it's just getting further away from the 50-day moving average in a downward direction, getting deeper into bearish territory and making it much more difficult for the bulls to reappear and bring this back up. And again, the bulls need to break through 28.13, but it does not mean that the bulls have gained control. They need to break through that and turn that into support, so they're one step closer to the 50-day moving average to start gaining control up here in bullish territory. So if this support is broken through, I emphasize this to all investors, pay close attention to the inflow and the outflow of the stocks, and also who is dominating the chart. As always, if you found this video helpful and informative, please do so and subscribe. Don't forget to click on the bell to turn on all notifications and not miss a single video that I post. Share this with your friends and community, and don't forget to hit the like button to let me know you watched this video. At the end of this video, there's going to be a pop-up video. In that video, I talk about the S&P 500 index and how it's been rising several points on specific dates. I go into more detail about it in the video, but just to summarize it, on these scheduled dates, the S&P 500 is rising up several points. What does that mean for us as investors? Well, if the S&P 500 index is rising several points, there are individual ticker symbols within the S&P 500 index rising up with it. And some of these are rising up anywhere from 30 cents to $3 per share. And I don't know what that means to you, but that means to me profits. And I know it may not sound like a lot per share, but profits are profits. Like I always say, if you put $1 into the market and you got back $2, you've done a great job. That's what we're all here for, trying to learn and grow together and make profits. So the strategy I'm about to show you in that video, it doesn't guarantee you profits. I'm not there to tell you to buy, sell, or hold. I'm just there to inform every investor and enlighten everyone on the great news that there's an opportunity to maximize profits and minimize losses for as long as the Federal Reserve continues to pump the markets. Check it out. Should be popping up soon. Click on it. And thank you guys so much for watching. And let's make some money.